A boy with a red shirt and a blank face walks into the murky woods with no objective known. Men are searching for him with guns in their hands and masks to cover their faces in the dim light. They chase the boy, send the dogs after him with no explanation why. The boy sprints while jumping over twigs and stumps, precise with every movement. He makes a break for the pond and jumps into the water, only seconds away from being torn apart by the dogs. Later, the boy finds mindless humans in the background being controlled by a machine. The boy finds out a shadowed agency is working behind this, producing mindless zombified workers for their bidding in order to live a life of control. Take parts of the story into a literary sense, and what's the result afterwards? A book called 1984, but this story isn't about 1984, not a book at all. It's a video game called Inside. Comparing video games to literature doesn't sound formulaic on paper, but put into actual practice and magic unfolds. Inside and 1984 have unspoken parallels that, if looked closely enough, bring the two together as one piece of work, a collection of the sorts. That's the beautiful aspect of video games and literature, bringing unlikely forms of entertainment together to create a deeper, more meaningful message that reveals ideas that couldn't be seen without the other. Either the story or game be about war, the environment, social issues, sadness, love, or government corruption. Each has an important message to share. Each has a connection in a person's life. Each has a connection with another form of entertainment. Morphing the two together not only enlightens the story, but creates a new one in the process. This is the power of video games. This is the power of literature. This is the power of connection. Government corruption has been a talking point in literature since Orwell's 1984. It's been a center point of truth, questioning ideas and pushing the boundaries of storytelling. And inside, the boy is always headed towards the light. At the end of the game, he finds himself in a well-lit building which represents the Ministry of Love from 1984. The final scene of the game has the boy lying on a beach with a shimmer of light shining on him. In 1984, Winston, the main character, is an opponent of the government party. Darkness is where the party wants everyone to stay. Winston wants to find the light, which will allow him to break free from the government and have free thoughts without prosecution. Quote, "We shall meet in the place where there is no darkness." End quote. What Inside in 1984 have a connection with is light, going towards the light, not knowing what's beyond the darkness, not knowing what lies ahead of, but taking the chance anyway in hopes of a brighter future. The scary predicament is when taking a chance for light. Darkness might be the only way through, and possibly your demise. The boy walks through a dimly lit hallway, seeing a helmet dangling from the ceiling. Looking in the distance, there's two lifeless bodies just standing there. The boy jumps towards the helmet and connects with it. The two bodies suddenly revive back to life with purpose in their poses. The boy tries to move, but instead the lifeless bodies mimic his movements. They jump when he jumps. They walk to the left when he walks to the left. When the boy is out of the helmet, the dummies go back to their mummified state in solitude, with no purpose in their soul. Quote, "We do not destroy the heretic because he resists us. So long as he resists us, we never destroy him. We convert him. We capture his inner mind. We reshape him. We burn all evil and all illusions out of him. We bring him over to our side, not in appearance, but genuinely, heart and soul. We make him one of ourselves before we kill him." End quote. This is what happened in 1984 and Inside. The lifeless bodies are representative of society being used for the government's bidding, being mind-controlled by the party and the boy. The lifeless bodies aren't human, but just a vessel for the party's thoughts. About halfway through the game, the red shirt boy falls through broken wood panels to find himself in a line of mindless humans that were met previously throughout the game. A single light is pointed on him during this entire sequence. Like an actor on a stage, the boy is the main performance, being watched by everyone. Instead of standing out from the crowd, the boy must blend into the bigger picture of normalcy and groupthink thought. When the crowd jumps, he jumps with them. Move right, he moves right. If he doesn't do this, well, you get the idea. This can be related back to when Winston finds himself walking the streets, seeing cameras shining down on him every which direction. It brings a sense of isolation, but everyone is looking at you, trying to decipher what's your inner motives behind the blank stare of a face. And that's the one thing of the main takeaways from 1984 and Inside, having a sense of collectivism, but being isolated in the process. An idea that's supposed to group people together, but instead it tears them apart, leaving them alone with their head facing the ground sort of mentality. It's almost like they're looked at like pigs. This is the first time knowing what these humans/clones represent in Inside. Just mindless pieces of flesh that serve a greater purpose on their own. A purpose that is only known to the higher-ups with the sole purpose of creating a better world. Not a world where the many will survive, but a world where the top percent will rejoice in what they have accomplished and take all the treasure with them. They'll slaughter the pigs, take their prized possessions, and marvel in what they have achieved. When the end of the game is nigh, the boy finds himself inside of a container, which he's been searching for the whole entire game. There's a white ball of limbs and heads connected to tubes in a dark vessel of water. The boy disconnects the tubes and becomes part of the white ball of limbs. He becomes part of the rebellion and part of free thought. The white ball can destroy the party and allow free thought to blossom again. Their minds are a Polaroid being fried till the image isn't clear anymore, till they're a stagnant figure on the stage, waiting for the party to give them the cues. When the government has taken over, when the bodies are lifeless and hope is no more, a horrible creation emerges. Either it be a vital figure to society now lifeless, a monster has been formed. Inside the monster, inside the vessel of a human body, there can be hope. When the flame has been cast out, there is still hope. The light can be found in rolling down a tree-filled hill towards a beach, or looking back at a memory of mother and sister. Quote, "But then his mother lit a piece of candle, and they sat down on the floor to play. Soon he was widely excited and shouting with laughter as the tiddlewinks climbed hopefully up the ladders, and then came slithering down the snakes again, almost back to the starting point. His tiny sister, too young to understand what the game was about, had sat propped up against a bolster, laughing because the others were laughing. For the whole afternoon they had all been happy together, as in early childhood." End quote. The mind will break, limbs will break, but the soul will never crumble. It'll stay in the inner mind, which will be found in the light and freedom of the soul. Thanks for watching.